You are listening to the Atlanta Sports Podcast, the only podcast covering all of your teams. Bringing you the best sports news from the state of Georgia, from the professional ranks to the high school levels, we have it all. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Atlanta Sports Podcasts. My name is Frankie Maloof, and in just a minute we're going to be joined by Michael Aprile and Luke Winstall over the phone. We're going to talk a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons today. They are coming off an impressive 38-32 victory over the New Orleans Saints. The Falcons had that one in control the entirety of the game. There was a little bit at the end that the Saints kind of pulled back in close, but the Falcons were really dominating for most of that game, scoring 35 points in the first half, really showing how potent this offense could possibly be. And just some quick injury news. Austin Hooper, Taylor Gabriel, those are two of the bigger names that were out this weekend, and hopefully they'll both be back for the first playoff game in the divisional round that the Falcons will get to host in Atlanta now after clinching the number 2 seed in the NFC. Also, Julio Jones is a little banged up still with that toe injury. This 2-week bye will be huge for him to be able to come back to full strength. And then Vic Beasley injured his shoulder. It's not expected to be a major issue. I think that he is now going to be cleared for practice, which is good news for Falcons fans, but I do think that this bye week will be good for everybody in the Falcons organization to make sure that they're not any little bangs or tweaks or anything like that. Falcons can get those healed up before the playoffs. And also, in this interview with Michael Aprile, again, the founder and editor-in-chief of RiseUpReader.com, I do recommend you go check out that website. There's lots of good information on there from Michael and his staff. In the interview, we start off with the MVP conversation, whether Matt Ryan should win the MVP. And we also get on a little bit later our favorite players. And then we get in the very end, we talk about the playoffs. Falcons at the 2 seed. Michael talks about who he does not think the Falcons want to play right now. Some of you could probably guess, but I'll let you hear that a little bit later. And before we get to this interview, I want to thank you all for finding us, whether it be on our website, atlantasportspodcast.com, or on Twitter, where you can always follow us at ATL Sportscasts. You can find us on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play, or pretty much all of the major directories. We also have a YouTube channel, so if you would not mind subscribing to us there, that would be great. We'd also like to hear from you. Leave us a review in one or more of those directories. You can also contact us under the Contact Us tab on our website. Again, it's atlantasportspodcast.com. And now here's Michael. And now I am very happy to be joined by Michael Aprile, the founder and editor-in-chief of Rise Up Reader. And Michael, we're glad to have you with us again today.
Thanks so much for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
And before we get started, you moved your website. You had a slight change to your website name. Am I correct?
Yeah, I purchased RiseUpReader.com, so we're no longer a .wordpress site. You can find us at RiseUpReader.com now.
All right, so we're going to get going. Do you think that Matt Ryan is the MVP of the NFL? There's been a lot of controversy about this. National media not giving too much credit to Matt Ryan and the Falcons, but do you think that he deserves to be the MVP?
You know, I'm definitely biased as a Falcons fan, but I do think that Matt Ryan is the MVP. I don't think he's getting enough attention because he plays for the Falcons, and they're not a media darling, and he doesn't have the same kind of stardom that Aaron Rodgers has, Tom Brady has, and some of the other guys. But, you know, I think statistically he does have some better numbers than the other guys do. And, you know, most defensively he has the 13 different players for touchdowns. That is an NFL record. Of course, Tom Brady has NFL records, and Rodgers called his shot. And I think they went 6-0 down the stretch to seal the division, which is huge for them. But, you know, Ryan's done it all year. He's had the most consistent year. Brady was suspended. I mean, some writers might hold that against him, some won't. But I do think Ryan is the MVP, and I'll be disappointed, honestly, if he doesn't get it.
So do you think that the national media will give it to him?
I think he'll definitely get some votes, and I think it's going to be a very close race. If I had to bet, I would say that Ryan probably will win very, very slightly over Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. At least that's what I'm hoping, but we'll see. He's got some guys in his corner, so we'll just see how many of them there are.
So what do you think the Falcons need to do well, and what do they need to avoid on the field to get to and eventually, hopefully, win the Super Bowl?
Well, I don't think they need to do too much differently than what they're doing now. Obviously, they need to keep scoring a lot of points. Their offense is one of the best in history, top 8, I believe, scoring offense ever, which is incredible. So, you know, the Falcons just need to keep scoring points, and the defense is got to force some turnovers. They can't make mental mistakes, and they got to tackle well. They missed 10 tackles yesterday, which is a little too much. So they got to get that number down. And I think with the way that their offense is playing, we're getting Taylor Gabriel back, we're getting Austin Hooper back. We've got 2 weeks to rest up for the first game in the dome. I think that as long as they put up points, 30 plus, which they've averaged all year, I don't really see many teams in the NFC that can keep up with that.
Which player have you enjoyed watching the most this season? You have a bunch of them to choose from with the offense scoring as many points as it did, but which has been your favorite?
With the offense, like you said, they have played well. The entire offense has been awesome to watch, but I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball and say Vic Beasley, just because of all the flack that he got last year, and to see him kind of have this rejuvenating and redemption season has been awesome to watch. It's just his huge game he had against Denver and San Diego, and obviously the Rams, he had a huge game. It's been really, really fun to watch his ascension and his development in just 1 year, and now he's an NFL sack leader, which is the first time it's ever been done by a Falcon, so that's big stuff. I'm a big fan of Vic Beasley.
Who do you expect to step up come playoff time? I know there's a lot of candidates here, I don't know, there's been some good performances from Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Vic Beasley, just kind of being there. Is there anyone else that you think could step up in the playoffs?
Yeah, I'm going to go a little under the radar here and talk a little bit about Grady Jarrett. He's had a really under the radar season, even as a Falcons fan watching him, but he's doing a lot of dirty work, and I think that Falcons are going to need him to step up and provide some interior pressure during this postseason, help with guys like Vic Beasley and Claiborne. But I'm expecting Grady Jarrett to kind of elevate his game and help the Falcons really on the defensive front there and provide some interior pressure.
Yeah, I remember watching Grady yesterday. Had a good game. I think my memory serves me correctly, had a sack. Do you think he can eventually develop into a Pro Bowl type of play?
I think he's close. He's got a lot of fans, not only across the league, but a lot of NFL writers that love Grady Jarrett and love what he's doing. I think the Falcons really need to add a true nose tackle next year and slide Grady Jarrett back to the 3 technique where he's a little better. He's got insane quickness for a guy at his size and his build, and I think he can rack up, close to 10 sacks and be an Aaron Donald, Atkins kind of guy if they can move him back to 3 tech, which I think we'll see next year. But this season, he's done a great job for the role he's been given, and I'm really, really excited about his development.
Who needs to step up for the Falcons? Which is the part of their team, I guess defensively, is probably the weakest point? Who do you think needs to step up in order for the Falcons to have a legitimate Super Bowl run?
Well, we can talk about the corners a little bit. They haven't been tested as much lately. They played pretty well against Breeze yesterday, but I think in order for the Falcons to really do some damage in the playoffs, they're going to need one of either Claiborne or Dwight Freeney to step up, because eventually, teams are going to start doubling Vic Beasley. They're going to start chipping in, and he's not going to be able to do all the damage that he's done this season. So I think that they need somebody opposite of him to really step up and provide some extra pressure. Getting Claiborne back healthy with those extra 2 weeks will help. Freeney will be fresher with the 2-week absence. So I'm really hoping that one of those two can step up and add some pressure on the opposite side of Beasley.
Yeah, defensively, what have you liked from the rookies so far?
I was a big fan of, compared to last year, we had Jalen Collins and Vic Beasley kind of have a slow start, but this year, Keanu Neal and Deion Jones and Campbell, even Hooper, have all contributed from day one. That's been huge for me, seeing a guy like Keanu Neal come in and be an upgrade. William Moore, he was a fan favorite, but no slight to him, but Keanu Neal is on another level, and to see that as a rookie, it's so exciting. And thinking about Deion Jones, and he replaced Paul Warlow last year. Again, that's like a day and night difference. So their abilities to contribute from day one, and their athleticism and confidence and speed, it just makes things so much easier on defense compared to last year. So just their ability to contribute from the start, and their athleticism has been the most exciting thing for me watching them play this year.
Yeah, for me, when I watch them play, I love watching Keanu and Deion Jones, because Keanu is just that exposure in the field. A lot of times receivers might want to think twice before they come here, and once he lit up really speed yesterday, and you see Deion Jones just flying around the field. And I like what you're saying, man, talking about how it's a massive improvement from last season. I also like the fact that they're just more fun to watch than really anyone I've seen with the Falcons.
Yeah, they're exciting, and don't sleep on Devondre Campbell either, because the Falcons' Achilles heel in the playoffs has always been covering tight ends, and Keanu Neal, Deion Jones, and especially Devondre Campbell are going to be so huge in this playoff series to be able to cover tight ends, and as a fourth round pick, I mean, Campbell has been awesome. So the Falcons absolutely nailed this draft. They nailed last year's draft. Hopefully they can do it again next year.
Yeah, with Devondre, so far from what you've seen, how do you think he's done covering tight ends?
I think he's shown the ability, and he's got the technique, and he's got the raw traits to really be a league leader in that aspect down the road. This year, he's been caught out of position a few times, but I mean, the guy is huge. If you watch him on film, and I got to see him in person a little bit. I was out at the Panthers game a few weeks ago, and he was huge. I was shocked when I actually saw how big he was in person. And for his size and his speed, 2-3 years from now, he could be one of the top coverage linebackers in the league.
How has Vic Beasley changed from last season to become the NFL sack leader? We talked about it a little bit earlier. And how much do you believe Dwight Freeney has helped him become the NFL sack leader?
Well, I think some of the things he's changed is he's playing a lot more confidently, and you can see that the way that he finishes his rush. His technique is better. His hand usage is so much better. He's getting off blocks a lot easier this year. His studying habits have been different, and that's really where I think Dwight Freeney comes in. They watch film together, obviously, and Dwight's going to be pointing out things, what to look for, how to beat this tackle, how to set up this move and set up that move. And I think that, getting Dwight, not only on the field, but as, a mentor to Vic has been, incredibly valuable, and he's worth every penny that they've spent.
Yeah, I think that Dwight Freeney was brought in pretty much for his teaching tools, not as much for on the field. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a good football player, but I think the Falcons brought him in for a long-term goal of helping to teach the younger players.
Yeah, I would love to see him back. If he's not going to play next year, I would love to see him back as a defensive line coach or something like that, because Vic has learned so much, and there's so much more to learn from a Hall of Fame guy like Dwight Freeney, more than just you can learn in one season. So, and especially if the Falcons draft another pass rusher next year, first couple rounds, which is probable. I'd love to see that guy also learn hands-on from Dwight as well.
Yeah, I was really happy when the Falcons signed Freeney, because I knew he'd be able to put up a few sacks on the field as a player, but I think he's more valuable as a coach. Again, that's another thing I really hope the Falcons do, like you said, is bring him back as a coach. I think that would be really cool. You mentioned Taylor Gabriel and that he's coming back from injury, so how do you think he can affect this team in their playoff run, and how would you like to see him used?
Turbo Taylor has quickly become one of my favorite players, and of course, Manny fans as well. I think his speed is just incredible, and he can take the top off the defense, as he's shown quite a few times against the Eagles and Packers and other teams as well. But I really love what they're able to do with him in the screen game and in the reverse game, because it adds so much more complexity to the offense, and just so many other things that the defense has to be thinking about that can open up opportunities for other players, like never mind Julio and Devontae and Sanu and those guys. But Gabriel is he's really the X factor of this offense, and the fact that they lit up the Saints, their defense isn't anything great, but the fact that they lit up the Saints the way that they did last week without Gabriel was really impressive. So I think getting him back at full speed, it's going to be really hard to stop this offense for any team in the playoffs.
I think Gabriel is probably the top waiver claim that has happened in the NFL in the past at least 1 year. Do you share that opinion?
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't think of anybody that's been a better waiver pickup than Gabriel. And I was not expecting him to do anything close to what he was doing. I thought that he'd probably fall in line behind Justin Hardy, who's also had a great year, just not as many targets. But Gabriel's absolutely exploded, and he's a perfect fit for what they're doing on his offense. And he is a restricted free agent after this year, so he's going to be very important to lock him up. And it sounds like he wants to be back in Atlanta, so that's going to be huge.
That's another thing I was interested. Do you have any idea how much money or what kind of contract you think he would command?
I don't think because, based on the sample size, I don't think he's going to command that much money. I could see the Falcons signing him to like a 2-year deal and kind of more of a, here's some money, here's a lot more than you've been making. We want to see you do this for another year or another 2 years, and then we'll talk about an extension. But the fact that they already have Julio on this big contract and they already have Sanu under this big contract, I don't think they're going to be willing to pay Gabriel as much as he might command from another team. But I think that the fact that he wants to be there and the fact that he is due for another contract after this year, I think we could see him sign to something short term.
What is the quality or the trait that you like the most about this Atlanta Falcons team this year?
I have to say that their aggressiveness and their confidence on both sides of the ball is something that I've been really excited about and really happy to see. Because, last year it was there, but, the talent was lacking and losing games, obviously the confidence is going to go down. But, the way that this team, the way they call plays, they're just throwing all over the field no matter what score it is. Devontae runs hard, Keanu's, crushing people. I think that their aggressiveness and confidence is higher than I've ever seen. The confidence might be similar to the 2012 team. That was a very confident bunch, and I think they got back to that point. But so and that's all DQ. That's his MO is confidence, the brothership, and aggressiveness, and fast and physical. And he's really just in his second year, he's really made that happen for both the offense and the defense.
And besides Dan Quinn, I think the new players they brought in this year, the rookies, and then Mohamed Sanu and Alex Mack, they've instilled a new level of confidence as well, helping this team to let them know that they can achieve higher and greater things.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys were brought in carefully, and they bought in everything that DQ is all about. And as high as the ceiling is for this team, the 2017 team, 2017 team, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but with another offseason to kind of group their roster and add more players that they're looking for, 2017 could be an even better year than 2016. As good as this year has been, which is pretty crazy to think about.
Were you at all surprised that Ryan Schrader was given a contract extension?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. I was the only thing that surprised me was that they did it during the season instead of just waiting till after. But during the off season, he probably would have gotten a lot more money because other teams would have been able to bid, and some other team would have probably offered him more than he made, what he's making on the Falcons. So I think the fact that they got his deal done and they also got Robert Alford's deal done early shows that both of those players just want to be here in Atlanta, and they feel like they got a fair deal. And I think that's a great sign of kind of the organization, the health of the organization as well. That players want to be here.
Yeah, Alford was my next question there. But overall, do you think that that overall terms of the contract, in terms of how many years and how much money they got, do you think? I know you said you think they could have gotten maybe more elsewhere, but do you think that was good considering the value they have to this team?
Yeah, I think so, because the offensive line, it's hard to find good tackles, and Schrader was an undrafted guy. There's continuity on the line. He's been a starter for a couple of years. Losing him would probably end up in the Falcons having to spend a first or second round pick on a tackle, which that's not ideal. So I think keeping a guy like Schrader on the team for a team friendly deal, they did not overpay for him at all. And he is a little on the older side, but he hasn't played football that long, so his body's still he's still got like a lot more mileage on his tread, so to speak. So I think it was a great deal for the team, and Schrader, he's due for a Pro Bowl. He could have made one this year, he could have made one last year. So he's a very talented player. I think he's just a little underrated.
When Desmond Trufant went down earlier this season, the secondary took a major hit. Who do you credit for the solid play of the secondary? They're nothing special, but they're way more than I thought they should be, especially after Desmond Trufant went down. And what do you think has happened to make that improvement? What's to be accredited for that?
That was a terrifying injury because at that point Desmond Trufant was probably the best player on defense. That was kind of a little bit before Vic Beasley truly emerged. But I thought that they were in big trouble, and you have to give credit to DQ for drafting guys like like Jalen Collins and finding guys like, Brian Poole and C.J. Goodwin and even, Deji Olatoye, those guys have played, well beyond my expectations, and a lot of people as well. So I give credit to DQ for finding those guys. And, Mark Emanuel definitely deserves credit for coaching them up and showing them, the right techniques and things like that. Jalen Collins' footwork has been much improved compared to last year. And Brian Poole, he came in ready to play from day one, so that was a great find. And I think it just goes to show, what kind of scouting department and coaching that the team has in place, where guys can really just step up when one goes down, and there's really not been much of a drop-off.
Yeah, because like you said, after Desmond Trufant went down, the defense was already the point of concern for the Falcons. The offense had already established itself, but the defense was not very good at all at that point. And Desmond Trufant, like you said, was the best player. That really was a major hit, so I'm glad to see the Falcons rebounded from that. And like you said, Dan Quinn and the secondary coach, Michael Aprile, they did a great job helping the backups come in and play like their starters.
Yeah, once they get Trufant back next year, they've locked up Alford. They have Jalen Collins under contract, Brian Poole under contract. I mean, they're 4 deep, and those are talented guys. So, again, 2017 is going to be fun. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but the Falcons are really building something here.
Do you think the Falcons' poor play in the second half yesterday is a concern at all heading into the playoffs? And do you think the team might have any kind of trouble closing out games in the playoffs like they did back in 2012 when they couldn't close out the 49ers?
It wasn't too worrisome to me. Drew Brees and the Saints have number 2 offense, so they're going to come back. Brees has always been, a Falcons killer for years, so it's not a surprise. And the defense is still technically a work in progress. But I would say that I think the team in general took their foot off the gas a little bit too early. They only scored 3 points, I believe, in the second half after scoring 35 in the first. So, I think if they really wanted to, they probably could have put up 50 points. But I think that they got really conservative after the second half, maybe to just avoid some injuries. But I honestly don't think it's anything to worry about. They've closed out teams like Carolina and the Rams. Those aren't playoff teams, but the defense is young, and I think that it's nothing to really worry about. But compared to the 2012 defense, no, I wouldn't say that they're as susceptible to breaking leads like they were back then. But give it up to the Saints offense. They're, like I said, number 2 in the league, so they're going to put up points.
And do you have any playoff predictions for the Falcons? They have locked in the number 2 seed, so they will get the bye this week. But do you have any predictions for what they might potentially do?
I think I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but I will say that the Falcons absolutely have the potential to win the whole thing. If their offense keeps scoring and if their defense forces turnovers, I don't see any reason why they couldn't win the whole thing. But I think depending on who they get in the first round, if they get Seattle, I think they could beat Seattle because the defense is just not the same without Earl Thomas, and the Falcons almost beat them in their own house. So I think if they get Seattle, they'll be okay. I think they could beat the Giants. The one team that scares me, though, is Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers has absolutely decimated the Falcons many, many times, especially, 2010. The playoff nightmare when the Falcons were the number 1 seed. So, Falcons fans will be thinking about that if Aaron Rodgers comes back to the Dome. But, honestly, Dallas doesn't really scare me that much. And none of the other teams really do. I'm hoping the Falcons can avoid Green Bay. And if they do, I think that they have a very good chance of representing the NFC in the Super Bowl.
And where can fans follow you on Twitter?
You can find me at RiseUpReader and also on RiseUpReader.com.
All right, so thank you, Michael. We hope to talk to you again sometime soon.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so that just about does it for today's show. Thank you again for finding us on our website, AtlantaSportsPodcast.com, on Twitter at ATL Sportscast, or in any of the major directories. We would ask again that you leave us a review on any of those directories, or you can contact us under our Contact Us tab on our website if you have any questions or suggestions, which are both always appreciated. And I'd also like to ask that you sign up for our newsletter to stay updated on all the latest blog posts and podcast episodes. You can find that on the right side of our website when you go to AtlantaSportsPodcast.com. And we hope to see you next time with another show.